Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right. Good morning, Tulsa. Good morning, Kenneth. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very well. I want to welcome everybody to Cashflows. My name's Cash Matthews, and that's the name of our show, Cashflows. It makes me sound almost like a rapper.
A little bit, yeah. I'm actually waiting for when that's going to break out in the middle of a session.
Yeah, we should start a band, like a rapper band. Plain white rappers. Can you lay it down? Yeah, okay. I think I'm probably not the guy. Anyway, we are here at the luxurious recording studio at Elevate Coworking in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The show is called Cashflows, where we discuss those things in life that make life better, the important things in life. It could be money, it can be physical health, it can be life. And today we're going to be talking about dating.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a dating coach here with us, which, man, I hope you and I never have to use this service.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's an excellent goal. That would
Dear Carol, if you're listening, I hope we never need this service.
Anyway, I'd like to introduce my co-conspirator in this show called Cashflows, Mr. Kenneth B.O.N.G. Kenneth, we're so glad you're here. You're such a big part of this show, and thank you for all you do. Overnight, we had 131,000 emails, texts, messages.
Wow.
They all said the same thing. They wanted to ask this question, and it was this. It was, hey, what's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
Well, I appreciate you bringing my fan mail to my attention. I actually heard there was a shortage of charm here, so I came to help out.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, that's not a very high hurdle.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Just so you know. All right, well, we're going to get on with the show. The mission of our show is to talk to this concept called fire, aim, ready. And most of the people on our show are entrepreneurs or in service of entrepreneurs or in service of other people. And in this world, this endeavor of entrepreneurship, so many people stall out. Or if they want to be an entrepreneur or write a book or lose weight. I mean, we're coming into the goal season. This everybody's fixing to post up. This is my year.
Right?
I'm a beast.
That's right.
Yeah. Until they have to do what a beast does. Eat like
other
a
animals?
Raw hyena or something. I've never actually seen a beast. I don't know how it works, but we have a concept called fire, aim, ready. Most people are ready, aim, and they never pull the trigger. Today, maybe you make a decision to pull the trigger on whatever the next step is for you. And I'm not a big believer anymore in these big, hairy, audacious goals. I like things that are manageable.
Yeah,
if you're overweight and your goal is to lose 100 pounds in 6 months, I don't know, maybe a pound in 10 days would be a good goal.
There you go.
And I like to encourage people to make a goal that's doable. I don't know how you are, Jaimee, but I like to make a list, and I love taking that yellow marker and checking something off my list. And that encourages me a little bit. I don't know how our listeners are, but I love accomplishment.
Yeah.
And having these big, crazy goals sometimes, I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that at our email when we set it up. So we are new to the, what is our email?
Wait a second. You just said that you
had
all these emails asking what was going on, and
those came to my personal email.
Oh, your personal email. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Dude, you're out there.
Yeah.
You're out there, man. You're way out there. All right. So our guest today is Jaimee Anderson. Jaimee, welcome to Cashflows.
Yes, thank you guys for having me.
We're glad you're here on an early morning, and it's 4:30 a.m. right now. The studio's freezing.
4:30 somewhere.
Mick Jagger's over in Studio B recording, and he's got his walker.
He's got his walker.
It's quite a sight. So Jaimee is in the relationship business, and we'll give you her website here in a little bit. Jaimee, so we met you through this crazy group called the Business Owners Networking Group, the B.O.N.G.
Yes.
Take just a moment and give us your experience or your perception about the B.O.N.G. group.
Oh, that just online. So I am new to the group still, right? But seeing the camaraderie and the friendships and the excitement and the support through the Facebook group has been
That really is cool.
fantastic. Like, oh, I want to be a part of that,
Yeah.
right? Something very different than other networking groups for sure.
Well, thank you for saying that. We're going to talk about relationships and relationship coaching here in a minute. But the Bong, when we started it, was over 70% female. Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know why that is. It's not me, I promise you. I mean,
The guys must have been busy.
I developed and patented a chick repellent way back in junior high school that has just never worn off. So somehow, but we were 70% female for the first year and a half, and it is now trended towards 60% female, 40% male.
Yeah.
So those are the demographics of our Bong group. So anyway, glad you're here. Glad you're here. I'm even glad I'm here.
You know what? I'm glad you're here too, Cash.
I think we're going to have a great day.
Yes, we are.
So, Jaimee, let's start with you. We're going to get to what you do because I was excited about this. I had a roommate that we called Date Guy.
Oh.
And today we're talking about Date Guy. I've got to bring him up because I was bad at it. He was the worst. And so like we're 45 years later and I'm still talking about Date Guy. We may have some funny stories. So let's talk about you for a second, where you're from, a little bit about your business. Or do you work out of your house? Just tell us how you work.
Yeah. So my business is primarily done virtually,
Yeah,
online
that makes sense.
sessions. But I grew up and graduated in Owasso. I was born in California, but moved here to Owasso very early on. So that was home to me.
Nice. Yeah, Wasso's a nice place.
It is. I was there whenever it was small.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
But now I'm married. We have a blended family with 5 kids.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. And my sisters, both my sisters, my mom, we all live out in Broken Arrow, just a few miles from each other. And
Oh, that's the good life right there.
it really is. I love my village. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Very cool. So your dating advice worked. You're married.
I am.
Wow, like you've got a personal story.
Yeah. By the time I was finally, I thought it would never come, but it happened whenever I was about 35.
Okay, so how long have you guys been married?
2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's going well?
It's going fantastic.
Right? I mean, is it kind of weird being a dating expert? Like, do you have to get your husband in check every so often? Like, no, that's not good.
He is definitely my number one fan.
Okay.
So he takes more. He intakes more than I ever thought he did, but he'll come across with some advice. I'm like, what?
That's pretty good. So cool. I mean, were you good at dating?
No.
How did it work? Like, I met a girl. I'm like, okay, that's the one. We're getting married. And I went all in on that, and I almost failed. So, how long did you and Carol date?
Man, that's a good. That's a longer story. I'm trying to think of exactly how to math that one out, because we started dating Valentine's Day, and in that same year got engaged 2 weeks later and married 4 months after that.
Wow.
But I'm just now figuring out how to make the long story a short one. But our families knew each other for years and years before that. So it's like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. And we just didn't realize that we were interested in each other until, ta-da, magical day, whatever. So
Got it. Yeah, Katie and I met Katie I walked into a restaurant and there she was, and I was with a buddy and I went, I'm going to marry that girl right there.
that one.
And she's beautiful and I'm, challenged. And okay, that you laughed a little too hard right there.
Well, I was waiting in my head for you to say a face made for radio or something like that.
I do have a face made for radio. That's true. Yeah, like and she can't see very well and has no sense of smell. So to her, like, hey, hello, Katie, good morning. How are you, baby? From 30 feet, I am hot.
Does she know that we record your voice and do the whole lowering and editing so you can just play it back for her?
Yeah, we're doing that. But I was with my buddy Johnny and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to marry that girl right there.
Wow.
And he's like, you have no chance. And so like I was just persistent.
Yeah, typical male. You're like, hey, challenge accepted.
I don't know how to date.
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm like, hey, do you want to have children? Oh, what's your name?
Wow.
It wasn't that bad. It was pretty awkward.
I think persistence is key. That's how my husband met me. I named it Blow Off Sunday, actually.
Oh, okay. I want to hear about that.
I was not ready to be in a relationship. I had just got out of one. And we went to church together, didn't know it. We actually went to church for years before and never saw each other until
Wow.
our new auditorium was completed. And so then, you sit in the same row, same seat every day at church.
Yeah.
So whenever
Assigned seats.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
So whenever the new auditorium mixed up and you got to find a new seat, that's whenever
Oh man.
uh,
And you'd been
our
going to
paths
church the whole
started
time.
crossing. Yes.
Wow. That's kind of a cool. I mean,
Yeah.
these are all cool stories.
Yeah.
And then he started talking to me, and my mom and my little sister knew that I was going to marry him one day, and I said no. And I did not talk to him. He would come over. He would talk to my mom and my sister.
It was blow off Sunday.
It was below Sunday. I would not give him the time of day.
I may have had a little of that. I don't recall. But well, so tell us. So you've got a blended family now, but you've got your mom and sisters. You said okay,
And a brother. There's
And-
first 4 siblings.
okay,
all
very cool.
together.
So did your traditional family, your first family? Did you guys have a lot of traditions as we go in the holiday season? I love all these traditions.
Oh yes. My favorite one every year is Christmas crafts.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I do Christmas crafts with my nieces and nephews every year.
All right.
I pick an ornament to make or some sort of something. This year we made DIY snow globes.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm all about snow globes.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yes.
But so did your husband fit into these traditions? Is he part of
He is
the tradition now?
absolutely Uncle Bill.
Cool? That's what they call him, Uncle Bill.
Yes, his name's Chris, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's what I was going
I'm
to say
Uncle
too.
Steve to all my.
Yeah. Yeah.
it goes back to the blow off Sundays. My mom and my sister called him Bill, brother-in-law.
Got it.
Ah.
Yeah, so the name just stuck.
Okay, so we're going to get into relationship coaching.
Okay,
True to you relationship coaching.com.
that's it.
True to you relationshipcoaching.com. Let's
Now-
make sure we call that out.
Cash, is that a number 2 or the word 2?
True? No, it's TO
T-O.
or
Okay.
TOO or TWO.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Better read the notes.
222. There.
So try all of these websites until you find the correct one.
You'll get one. All right. So dating for me when I had to do it was impossible.
Mhm.
People think I'm an extrovert, but I'm not. I'm an introvert. Which one are you?
Oh, I'm definitely not an extrovert. I'm an introvert with some growing to do.
Ooh, okay. Talk about that.
I know that I'm not the one to start conversation for sure. I will be the one sitting at a table at an event, perfectly fine, sitting there and just watching everybody else.
Right.
If you come up and talk to me, I will definitely have a conversation, but it may look like I'm not enjoying myself, but I'm fine. I'm content with just.
I know that feeling.
I don't do well at those kind of events. And we host the largest networking group literally in North America now, 5,500 fairly new members.
Yeah.
And but I hate the events because like people are going to talk to me. I went to a birthday party the other night. There were 30 people there, and a friend was with me. I'm like, please don't leave my side. Can I sit with you? Will you please? Can we go sit in the other room?
Yeah.
Can I sit with my back to the wall? And I just didn't do very well. But people think because I speak in public, oh, you're so extroverted. I'm not. Is there a name for that? Is there a name for somebody psychotic like that?
Well, it's not psychotic.
Oh, it's not.
I
Okay.
don't know, obviously, because the three of us all feel the same way, so that makes it cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I'm cool. This is the moment where it all.
This is the moment.
Thank you.
Put it in the
Take a
books.
picture.
Wow. I'm ordained. Cool. Okay, so, but in your business, when you relate to people, do you have to be, I don't know, the coaching part to me. And when I think of coach, I think of somebody grabbing a kid by the helmet and shaking them.
Right.
How does that work in your world? Do you have to be aggressive with people?
No, that's the part about relationship coaching and being true to you, right? We go over what your visions are, what your goals are. I don't tell you how to live that, but whatever your vision is, we're going to create the goals to help you get there.
Right. And so, but you talk about behavior, and I've got some behavioral questions. Having grown, I mean, I spent a good part of my life with Date Guy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like we were friends growing up, and we rode bicycles together and lived together through college and beyond. And yeah, so I have questions. We'll get to those in a little bit. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. This is a show about entrepreneurship. Talk to us about becoming an entrepreneur. Have you always done it? What was your history? How did you what made you decide to become an entrepreneur? Because you clearly are now.
Yes, I clearly am now, but I wasn't
Oh,
before. I worked healthcare before. I worked Alzheimer's and dementia and post-surgical heart and all of those things. But
wow.
relationship coaching has always been my passion. Like that is my purpose in life. It took me actually almost 10 years to pull the trigger on going to school um, and completing that.
Wow. But then you did it. I mean, what's that been like? Because entrepreneurship is tricky, even if you're great at what you do.
Right, which is why I think it took me so long to do it because at that point in life, if I went to school, what was I going to do with it? I didn't have the maturity, I didn't have the experience, I didn't have just the things that I knew that it would take to build my own business.
Right.
So in time I realized that there is a time for entrepreneurship. There's never a perfect time, but you have to be able to
That's
recognize
true.
what it's going to take to be able to make it work, to actually implement what your purpose is going to be. Um,
So when you do what you do you have to get certified? Is there a license?
I am certified for singles and couples.
Oh, okay.
Um, but my focus is on singles in this current season.
Got it. Got it. So how do you get interested? I mean, I get entrepreneurship, but relationship coaching, was there something specific that you went, this is what I want to do, and here's why? What's that why?
I love love.
Oh,
I love seeing reciprocated adoration and desire for each other, regardless of the package that it's in. It just makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
yeah. So are you a counselor or a coach? Is there a difference?
There is a difference. Counseling, therapy, those counseling and therapy will work on internal healing,
Ah, okay.
but coaching, I work on external action and goals.
Got it.
So
Fire, aim, ready.
yes,
Yeah.
fire,
okay.
aim, ready.
See, that's perfect for you.
It is.
All right. We finally found somebody who that
Yeah.
applies to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You have a comment there? Seems like you're
I-
rolling in behind
I,
us.
I was just thinking about whether I was going to say it took us, 17 episodes or 18 episodes to do it, but I don't know.
We found somebody for
we
whom
didn't.
the theme is perfect.
For whom? For whom?
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So you love love. So I'm a sports guy.
hmm
I'm a part-time pastor also.
Okay.
And I've married 3 or 4 people, and I've done some funerals, and so but on the marriage deal, like we're 4-0. Like
Oh.
it's and I call them every year on their anniversary, like, hey, you still going? Okay, because I'm keeping score. We're 4-0, baby. Don't you mess my record up. This ain't about you.
Y'all don't keep score. I'm keeping score.
So do you keep score?
I do keep score.
Yeah. So I mean, let's hear
I
about
do.
that. I want to hear about that.
I am currently 3-1.
Oh, okay. On marriages.
They're successful relationships.
Okay, got it.
And the one, it doesn't really count just because she's not ready. She's a single mom. She wants to focus on her kids right now before getting into a serious relationship.
That makes sense.
So she'll get
Yeah.
there.
Kenneth and I vote in her favor.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I think you're 3-1-0.
3
We'll call that a tie.
Yeah,
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, very cool.
I'll allow it.
So, and you mentioned that you are able to coach singles and
Mhm.
couples.
Yes.
Okay, so this is where it gets fascinating for me.
Okay.
I've been doing what I do for 42 years, and it occurred to me after about 10 years that half of my clients got divorced,
Mm.
and that half of the marriages ended in divorce, and the other half ended in death. And so we put a book out called Suddenly Single, and we've always enjoyed talking to people that mentor couples that are already couples. So you'll mentor a couple that's currently married as well.
Yes.
Yeah, what's that like?
Advanced Partnerships is a great program that I offer of taking couples and just building on what they have. What goals they have? What would be beyond happily ever after?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Say the name of that program again.
Advanced partnerships.
And we can find that on your website. We can learn about
Yes.
advanced partnerships on your website. Let's call the website out again, truetoyourelationshipcoaching.com.
.com.
Ooh, do that again. That was pretty cool.
.com.
Wow. That was pretty.
Thank you.
You didn't, that's full service right there. Well, let's do this real quick. Let's take a commercial break. Mr. Kenneth B.O.N.G, would you take us there?
I sure can. In today's commercial break, we are going to focus on one of our sponsors, Kenneth B.O.N.G Photography. Hey, that's me. I'm here to help you bring your awesome ideas to life. I specialize in helping businesses explode their online presence through professional photos, video, and virtual event production with a rapid turnaround. It's commercial photo and video services with a personal touch.
I know a podcast that uses that Kenneth B.O.N.G guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're killing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're doing really well. Oh, wait, it's this one. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I just asked the question, is it therapy or counseling? And I want to go a little deeper into that. Do you ever have a time where you recommend that somebody goes in to get therapy? Like when you meet somebody and the situation is just one that you can't fix?
Oh, absolutely. Somebody has to be coachable. Somebody has to be able to be at the point in their life where they're able to take ownership of where they're at and how their past transpired, and what they need to do to go forward.
Right.
If they are not able to do that at that moment,
That's not a good fit for you.
it's not a good fit. Their coaching begins where therapy ends.
Okay. Coaching begins where therapy. Okay, cool. So what about, do you see a typical age of people that you work with? Because what I'm seeing in my world is the baby boom generation, people that are today 60 to 70. There are a lot of second and third marriages in that age group. Are you coaching people in the, I don't know what to call myself right there. I don't want to call myself a senior, but in the little bit grayer group.
Listen, just as I love anybody who wants to do better in that area, I will absolutely. The primary area where I'm seeing people is age 35 to 49,
Okay.
where they may have been married and divorced young, or they've just never been married.
Right. What do you make of those people that have never been married? Does it worry you a little bit?
No, it hurts my heart.
Okay. Okay. We've seen some of those, and my buddy date guy, never been married.
There are so many fantastic people out there that they would make a great partner. They would make a great spouse, but they're just not meeting the right people.
Yeah, this fella had some odd expectations. I'll just leave it right there. So I want to ask you some dating questions today in 2023.
Okay.
Okay, so two people go on a date.
Mhm.
Who pays?
Bum, bum, bum.
Now, that is actually something that I go over. That depends on the person.
Right?
That is part of the strategy and plan. If that should be talked about beforehand
Right.
on what they're looking for.
But how do you discuss that? You finally get a date with Mr. or Miss Right, and you're going to go, okay, hey, man, I've been waiting on this. Yeah, okay, I'm so excited, but hey, by the way, bring money.
Right.
Like, how do you...
That, for me, if the person is the one who initiated the date, that's the person who paid. If I asked my husband out on a date, I would expect to pay.
Right.
Right? But I don't think any way is wrong, but there are some strong opinions about that.
So at what point do you see people putting in ground rules for dating? Because I know people, like I have a 25-year-old daughter, and I have lots of friends through the B.O.N.G group that are in the dating mode, and it seems so transitional. Like there's like a low commitment in the dating world.
Mhm.
I fall in love very easy. I don't. Man, I pray that I don't ever have to date anybody.
Mhm.
Is this a low commitment environment, or people just kicking tires?
No, people really want to find that person to spend the rest of their life with, but we're never taught on how to date, right? There's not a manual. People don't have the manual. I teach the manual,
Right.
but and being able to go out there with a plan and not just wing it and not just be transactional.
Right.
Like you having boundaries and expectations of somebody is a game changer and not just
Okay. So are you then old school or
I'm
new
s-
school on how a man and a woman should treat each other?
I am old school.
Right. So if I opened a door for a young girl the other day, she's like, "You don't have to do that,"
Oh.
and so I punched her. I'm just kidding.
I teach my 14-year-old
yeah.
son. My 14-year-old son will absolutely open a door and keep a door open for anybody that walks in or after.
Right. That's old school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is that manners? What we're talking about there? And I didn't punch anybody.
Right.
I'm a
To be clear,
yeah. Just to be
for
clear,
the local police department checking their recent crime reports.
oh, I'm going to get called out on some major network now. Anyway, Cash punched somebody.
Oh
No,
no.
I'm out on that. But I mean, is it manners? Is that just manners? Like, I don't know the answer.
I mean,
to
I
this.
think it is. That's how kind of I was raised. It wasn't, hey, son, do this for all the ladies. It was just like, be nice to people.
Right.
Yeah, I hold the door open for
Yeah.
everybody.
Right.
Yeah, whoever.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on a date, I think it's a little more noticeable. Do you pull a chair? Does the guy pull the chair out for the girl?
My husband does. He opens my car door,
Wow.
everything.
Does he
Yes.
stand up when you leave the table?
He does not, but he holds his hand out for me to get up from the chair because I'll usually be wearing heels and just
Mm.
just being there.
Leverage,
Yeah.
safety net.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just heels can be kind of wobbly. I found.
Yeah, that's why I
And-
stopped wearing them.
Yeah, same here. Well, I've the ankle problems that I have,
Right,
and they're hard to run in.
Years of bicycling sometimes does that.
Yeah, true that. Okay, so I guess the question then is chivalry dead?
Chivalry is not dead.
Okay,
It is not.
that would be a good poll tagline for
Yeah.
this broadcast. Chivalry is not dead. Do you think that's? I'm going to ask a question about what you think women want. Do you think that's what women want? Do you think they want a gracious partner that has manners?
Oh, absolutely. But there's a certain level of trust that comes along with it. That whenever a man is chivalrous and has those type of manners and it's being reciprocated or it's being received by the woman, there's a certain amount of trust
Okay,
that's going into that person.
right.
And whenever there's not trust, there's definitely the independence of I can do this myself. So I think there's a hand in hand that comes with the receiving of chivalry and trust.
I think a lot of people think, and I don't know if it's more men or more women, but I'm independent. Hear me roar, and I am not independent. I am completely. I mean, I'm a basket case. Like I don't know if I'm allowed to say I need to be married. I love my wife.
Mhm.
We do very well together, but I can't even imagine, what it would be like to be single right now in my life. So, for those of you out there that are single, let's maybe get a little bit of coaching. Katie and I do. We try to go to a counselor every so often,
Mhm.
just to get marriage counseling because, I think in life you don't know what you don't know. You have a blind spot, and you start these behaviors, and then they become habits, and then how you respond, and then communication is so hard. Do you teach communication skills?
Yes. Yes. That is a very big part in relationships and how they work. And somebody has to be able to recognize that whenever their partner's having an issue and trying to communicate this, it's a need not being met.
Right.
It's not the surface. It's not what they're saying, right? That was just the icing on the cake. So being able to listen to your partner and finding out how you can support them in the need that's not being met and what your part in that was and how you can fix it is key.
Yeah, I think communication is one of the toughest things because we all have thoughts in our head. I don't know about y'all, but I've got about 47,000 a minute going through, and often it seems like my spouse is imagining what I might be thinking about a situation, and what I'm really, like we have some skirmish, or as my friend Kyle says, a spirited conversation, a spirited fellowship.
Right. Spirited fellowship.
And she thinks we're having spirited fellowship. And I'm looking up at the sky like this. And what I'm actually thinking is, wow, the sky is gray. I should use a dark worm when I'm bass fishing. And she thinks I've got some completely other thing going on in my
Right.
brain. All right. We need to work on that. Our counseling was done through a book called Love and Respect.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that book, but it
Good
was,
book.
I think it was, what is it, 12 or 14 chapters. And we just went through it with a counselor and, he pretty much blamed her for everything.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding. No, that is a good book. Actually, my wife and I, and I think many, if not all the other couples that kind of go through counseling at my church, actually, that's a book that we use in the very beginning.
Yeah. And I mean, we're 32 years,
Yeah.
6 months and 8 days married
Wow.
for real.
That's,
I mean,
that's
check it
good
out.
math right there.
Yeah. Well, my last name's
As,
Matthews.
as of this recording date, right? It's not like a perpetual.
Well,
date,
yeah,
it's just
that's an excellent
the
point.
recording
As of
date.
this recording date, but anyway, we recorded this in October '87.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. That makes sense based on my age.
All right. Well, let's talk about dating for a second. Once again, Kenneth and I both pray that it's something we never have to do. Are there common? I mean, it's 2024
Ish.
ish, soon to be 2025, and recently 2023. Are there rules for dating today that have changed? Like what are the modern rules for dating? How does one make progress in dating?
How you make progress in dating currently is taking time in it. Don't jump into a relationship. So often people are viewing dating as a relationship, and you're taking time to get to know the person on whether you can see yourself with this person or not.
Right.
And they struggle disconnecting, and that is the perfect time to be able to say, you know what? I'm not going to worry about your feelings. I'm going to worry about myself.
Right.
And this just isn't going to work. There's no reason to take it further.
I want you to expand on that because you said something brilliant right there. Dating is not a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Absolutely.
go a little bit because I have friends
Mm-hmm.
all my life that I think everybody's looking for the right person.
Right.
And I think that's nature. I think that's natural. I love to see that. But the minute they find the person that might be the person and they begin this process called dating,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere something clicks that this is the one. And they jump right into, in month 2 or 3 or 4 into a relationship that may not really mature until month 15.
Right.
So talk about dating is not a relationship. That's a big comment.
I actually did a poll on this the other day of whether people prefer to date one person at a time or multiple, and the primary consensus was that it was one at a time.
Right.
Which, at some point in the dating period, yes, agreeing to just date each other, but dating multiple people at the beginning stages helps keep you from falling into that pattern
Right.
of clinging on and committing to this person without even knowing if they're going to meet your requirements for a relationship.
She said Klingons.
Right.
Star Trek. Wow.
Right,
My
right.
childhood just
Yeah.
paid off right there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know this is important and I'm interested in it. I mean, I think that entire thing you just mentioned is a giant topic that people should really get help with. Dating is not a relationship. I mean, is it like test driving a car to a degree?
Absolutely. So a lot of people, they look at somebody on whether they have the qualities and the characteristics of the person that they see themselves with.
Right.
That is not sustainable. That is not going to give you a long-lasting relationship. So knowing if that person gives you the requirements of what you see in a relationship, that is what's sustainable. And it happens over time. You have to know if that person is loyal or honest. Those are some of those requirements or what you see in somebody that you look for in somebody in a relationship. So those ones take a little bit of time, but oftentimes whenever you start seeing dating as a relationship, you find yourself settling.
Right.
And
Ooh, this is big. Man. This is giant. Actually, I'm loving to hear this. So I want to interject a couple of things, and I want to find out how important you see them in relationships.
Hmm.
The first is finances,
Oh, finances are so very important. It's one of the number one causes for
right?
divorce. And I mean, here in Tulsa, Tulsa has the highest divorce rate in Oklahoma,
Wow.
along with the highest single rate.
Wow.
So, um, being able to be transparent and honest with yourself on what how you see finances being held in your relationship. Some people they want to keep their finances separate. That's fine. You just have to know that that's what you're looking for in a relationship. So your partner that you're looking for has to match that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I manage money for people, and it is really weird for me when an adult couple still has all of their money separated.
It's very weird.
I think they have the Ricky and Lucy twin beds that they sleep in also. I don't know if you know it. Those
Yeah,
might be a
yeah.
little.
Oh, I love I Love Lucy.
Okay.
I actually have lots of memorabilia.
Ooh, okay. Well, that might be another show there as well. So we know how important finances are.
Hmm.
Finances are important whether you're single, married, dating, whatever. But do you talk about? I mean, and I asked about who pays, but are there other rules of finance during the dating period?
I think that just depends on the person and how important that topic is to them.
Right.
I mean, if for you who work in finances, you would probably have a lot more in regards to financing whenever you're looking for a relationship than somebody who is not in the finance industry, right?
Right.
So I think that part just depends on the person.
So what about faith? How does faith factor into the people that you work with?
That actually factors in a lot more than I anticipated it to.
Really?
Um, just because of the society that we're in, where faith can be a touchy subject. Whenever I'm working on venues of where they would meet this potential partner, 100% of them have said a singles group at a church,
Oh,
and that they would want somebody who, in some way, has um, not just a religion, but a relationship with God.
yeah, belief system that they
Yeah,
live out.
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Whether that's just praying and having that relationship with God like within their own home. They may not go to church regularly, but they have that relationship to some extent within their self. I mean, even to the point of some of them, they want their um, relationship to be reflected in serving in the church.
Right.
So,
I think that's beautiful. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, that's still a thing, and that
hmm
you and I are both old school when it comes to love and relationships and marriage,
right.
and I think that's beautiful. So when people are dating, tell me about red flags.
Oh man. So whenever if the person that you are talking to, if they respond in anger or rage, that's a red flag.
Early in the game.
Early in the game.
Yeah.
If you find that they're not taking ownership for their own actions and they're blaming other people, that's a red flag. Um, oh man, there's quite a bit of them.
I mean, a red flag is more of a divisive thing, and I know that we're also looking for things that bring us together.
Hmm.
Like you want a woman who knows how to tie her own bass fishing knot.
Right.
I mean, obviously, right? Um, but more seriously, I apologize for that.
No,
Watching people get together, there are lots of red flags out there, and I don't know if just love is enough to overcome some of these things. And,
it's
and the
not.
one you mentioned is the one that I would fear the most is how they respond to conflict,
Hmm.
and which then requires them to be great at communication.
Right.
So I think communication skills that you would teach, are they're vital.
And reflects within yourself.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make this relationship work? Oftentimes you have a history of patterns
Right.
in your relationships. Are you overlooking something because you see this other quality,
Right.
but this other one that you're overlooking is an issue,
It might be the trigger
right?
for all, and it might be something from your past, and maybe you haven't dealt with, what's the phrase? Hurt people.
Hmm.
Yes.
And I think one of the red flags is maybe what happened in your past, or how did your other relationship ends? Do you encourage people to dig into past relationships?
We do not move forward into the planning and strategizing phase. That's actually that is my second pillar. So I have 3 pillars to my business. The first one is personal vision. The second one is past relationship history and patterns.
Okay.
Digging, and the third one is planning and strategizing. It is imperative that they look into the patterns, not even just their personal, relationships, but with their family and their friends. Relationships across the board. What patterns do they see? Because if you don't have the opportunity to get understanding on that and clarity of why that was to be able to change it going forward,
Right.
you're going to continue to be on the same hamster wheel.
It's kind of like watching film after a football team loses. Like, why did this not happen the right way? We had a great plan going in,
Mm-hmm.
and we failed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're talking about is vital to developing the next relationship on a strong foundation.
Oh, absolutely.
Kenneth, I think it's communication.
Yep.
And that's what our counselor talked to us about is, hey, when you get mad, it's easy when everything's going great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's when you're frustrated or upset or you have a question that's not answered. How then do you communicate?
Right.
And, you kind of get into what our guy called the crazy zone.
Mm.
And once you're in the crazy zone, like, it doesn't matter. Like, none of this other stuff matters. You're just in the crazy zone.
Yep.
And anyway, well, I got one more important question, then we're going to ask you for a little nugget of business.
Okay.
That you can share with all 4 of our listeners.
Okay.
And we want to make sure.
We're actually up to 5. I checked the stats earlier. 5.
Wait,
5
that's a
listeners now.
25% growth rate.
I know.
Woo.
It's incredible.
Wow.
I need my savings account to do that too. That'd be great.
Yeah, well, okay. Hey, I can tell you how to end up with $1 million in your account.
Save it.
No, start with $2 million.
Oh.
Sorry, investment joke number 1. Okay, so in this world where divorce is prevalent,
Yeah.
my mother was a single mom twice. My dad kind of came and went a couple of times, and so I have a soft spot for single moms because the job they do is not meant to be done by one person.
Right.
Sometimes that happens through death, and that's unfortunate, but more often than not, it's through divorce.
Right.
And that's just a whole. I watched my mom go from being a single mom to getting married again to the most wonderful man who had an influence in my life, and I'm so thankful that she did that. And she was afraid to tell me about it, and everything about it was difficult for her, but she needed it. What about single moms coming back into the dating world? I mean, that's daunting.
Yeah. Being able to definitely have conversation with your child if they're old enough of what you're wanting to happen. Being transparent and vulnerable about the process and what that's going to look like. But at the same time, it's so hard for single parents to, try to see if something's going to work because they have to find somebody to watch their kids while they
Right.
go out on dates and such. So early on in those first 3 or 4 relationships that, let them happen over a period of 1 or 2 months.
Right.
And have a plan going in of the intentional conversations that you want to have with that person. And only let those dates be no more than an hour long.
So with your theme of dating is not a relationship, if a single mom's going out with somebody, or single dad, either way, with they have children, you're not indicating that they ought to come in and meet the child and get to know the child and any of that stuff right off the bat. What point would you, if you were single, at what point would you have the person you're dating meet your children?
So I was that person. My son was 9 years old whenever I met my husband, and it was months before we each had a child at home, and it was months before we brought them together at Cece's and let them meet each other and see how this was going to work.
That was Cece's Pizza?
It was Cece's Pizza.
Today's show sponsored by Cece's Pizza. All you can eat for $1.99.
I don't think that price is accurate anymore, but
Oh,
Oh,
man,
definitely
I used
not.
to love but love is in the air at CC's Pizza.
But that,
Well, that
it
is
was,
awesome, though.
yeah, it was an opportunity for the boys to not feel like, take that uncomfortableness and worry off of them. They can go off and play in an
Right,
arcade,
right.
right?
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds like actually, that sounds genius now that I stew on it for a minute, like, place
Yeah.
where they can go be kids
right,
and
right.
they're not stuck in a fancy steakhouse or something.
Right, in a uncomfortable situation where they don't know this person, they don't know if they're going to click with the kid, and just it's new to them also. So
Yeah,
they can,
because this could be a new full-time relationship for them as well.
right,
And I can't even, that's a whole other show as well. Like,
yeah.
how do you get two children to, I don't know if they're transmogrify with each other and, you know,
Yeah, no, we're not going to use that word for that one because I did find that in the dictionary yesterday, and
Oh.
it's more of a kind of a negative
Oh, it's
connotation.
negative. Oh.
Yeah. So we're looking for happy
okay.
connections.
Well,
on that one. Yeah.
we'll come up with another word.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry to have to fact check you on that one, but
okay. So, well, no, I appreciate that. Like, I just make stuff up. I mean, what are the odds any of it's true?
it was a good word though.
Yeah, but it's a good word. I think I
Yeah,
learned
we'll
it
use
from
it.
Calvin and Hobbes,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
Yeah.
it happens.
okay. Well, so we're with Jaimee Anderson today, and Jaimee is a relationship coach. She coaches both singles and couples. And if you're trying to make progress in a relationship or create a relationship that you don't currently have, you can visit Jaimee on the web, on the World Wide Web. Is that how you say it?
Internets.
On the you can visit Jaimee Anderson on the internets at truetoyourelationshipcoaching.com. And now we're going to have Jaimee give us a business nugget or a life nugget, something that all 4 or 5 of our listeners might benefit from. Jaimee.
Be the chooser. Don't wait to be chosen.
Ooh.
Really know what you're going and looking for. Be intentional with the way that you go out in life and into the dating world. And just know, be comfortable with enforcing boundaries and expectations on somebody. It'll pay off.
That's money right there.
Money.
So it's okay to want what you want.
Absolutely. There's somebody out there who wants what you want.
Yeah, in my business, I've just had a philosophy, and it's kind of a sales philosophy, and I am not great on the sales side of my industry, but I've always only been looking for people that were already looking for somebody like me,
Hmm.
and I think maybe in the dating world there might be some application of that. It's okay to want what you want,
Yeah.
and you don't have to give all of it up just to have a relationship.
Right.
Wow.
Like you are good the way that you are. Everybody can improve.
Sure.
Everybody can be better within themselves. But somebody's out there that's going to love you for your quirks and just your goofiness.
Isn't there a song, Just the Way You Are?
I'm pretty sure there's
If
several.
not,
yeah.
we should write one, maybe perform it.
We'll think about that.
I'll get my
Yeah.
banjo.
Yeah.
And okay, well, very cool. So we've had Jaimee Anderson here today. And Jaimee, thank you for being here
Thank you
and
for having
waking
me.
up to be here at our cool show. And Kenneth, did you have a good day here?
I did.
This is fun, wasn't it?
It was
Man.
super fun.
All right, well, you ready to wrap this thing up?
Let's wrap it.
Hey, we're coming to you today from the studios at Elevate Coworking here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you to our sponsors, Kenneth Bauckham Photography, Clarence Shaw with cmcustoms.com, Lori Zeller at Elevate Coworking, and those wacky people at joinmfp.com. Join MFP. That's my financial plan. And so I'm going to take us out of here. And glad you guys are here today. Hope you got some of this content that was available. Jaimee was amazing. And in this world of relationships, you can never have too much information. And so thanks to everybody that was here today. Until our next show, make good choices. Love one another. Be nice. And here's a good tip for today. Go forgive somebody who absolutely does not deserve it. I think you'll feel a little bit better. And to the 3 of you who continually like our posts on the Facebook, we just want to say, hey, man, we're going to run down to Quick Trip and get some jerky. Y'all need anything? Have a good day.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cashflows.